Marcus Bell, 50 years old, didn't resemble a corporate powerhouse when he pushed his mop down the gleaming corridors of Orion Global Enterprises, one of the most cutthroat financial firms in downtown Chicago. His worn-out coveralls hung loose on his frame, steel-toe boots dull from wear, and his salt-and-pepper beard gave him the unassuming look of any other overnight janitor. But behind those eyes was a predator patiently stalking its prey. Night after night, Marcus scrubbed the marble floors and emptied the trash cans of those who mocked him, spat near his feet, and dismissed his presence as beneath their notice. But while they laughed and celebrated their bonuses, he listened. While they spewed venom across the break room, bragging about squeezing their subordinates, he watched. And all the while, he was piecing together every crack in their gilded empire. A month earlier, Marcus had walked through Orion's doors with nothing but a flimsy temp badge and a mop bucket. There were no headlines announcing the arrival of the company's newly appointed CEO. No press releases, no handshakes, no champagne. Just Marcus wearing the uniform of the invisible. But Marcus wasn't there to fix what was broken, was there to burn it down and build something better. The company was hemorrhaging talent. Profits were slipping. Whispers of corruption floated through the halls like smoke before a fire. The board had summoned Marcus to turn the ship around, desperate for his reputation as the man who had resurrected 4 dying corporations. But Marcus didn't trust PowerPoint slides or polished executive summaries. He wanted the raw truth, and he knew the only way to find it was to be where no one paid attention. Within days of mopping floors, Marcus had seen enough. Victor Crane, the vice president of strategy, strutted through the office like he was king of the world, barking orders, belittling junior staff, and smashing egos just for sport. On one particular afternoon, Victor berated a young analyst named Jamie Brooks so viciously over a minor report delay that the girl fled his office in tears. Marcus caught her sobbing in the stairwell, her back pressed to the wall, trying not to break down completely. She never even noticed him standing there, mop in hand, quietly watching. Victor didn't glance Marcus's way. To him, Marcus was just another shadow in the background, not worth acknowledgement. Then there was Denise Carlton, the head of human resources, whose sweet smile could cut glass. Behind the pleasant exterior was pure cruelty. Marcus observed her one night as she shredded a janitor's written request for overtime. "Get over it, Carla," Denise spat. "You're replaceable." Carla Diaz, a single mom with circles under her eyes and a quiet strength, tucked her head down and shuffled away, defeated. Marcus's grip on the mop handle tightened, his jaw clenched, but his face betrayed nothing. Ethan Lowe, a mid-level manager whose smug grin never faded, was another cog in the machine of abuse. Marcus overheard him one evening, laughing in the break room with another manager. "These grunts should be grateful we even let them in the building. I'd fire every last one of them if I could." The words burned into Marcus's mind. Every insult, every slap of disrespect was ammunition. Night after night, he mapped the disease at Orion with the precision of a surgeon preparing for war. Raised on the south side of Chicago, son of a city bus driver and a hospital nurse, Marcus had learned young that respect was something you fought for. He'd worked janitor jobs through college, been the only black face in countless boardrooms where his presence was questioned at every turn. But he had outlasted them all, built empires from the ashes of failure, and earned the title of the architect among those who knew his work. Still, none of them had ever seen him like this, camouflaged among the people they crushed beneath their heels. He heard the whispers. The maintenance crew spoke of pay cuts and impossible schedules. Receptionists cried in the bathroom after being berated by executives. Junior analysts drowned under unrealistic quotas while bonuses fattened the pockets of the elite. Marcus cataloged it all. One night, Victor flung an empty soda can onto the floor near Marcus's feet. "Pick it up, old man," Victor sneered. Marcus crouched down, locking eyes with Victor as he cleaned the spill. His face was calm, but the insult was etched into stone. Another evening, Marcus overheard Denise sneering to Ethan, "Why are they always so slow? Lazy as hell. All of them." Their laughter echoed through the corridor. Marcus's expression didn't change, but inside, his rage was a firestorm waiting for release. The workers, however, saw something else. Not the CEO. Not yet. Just a kind man who listened. When Jamie found Marcus cleaning near her desk late one night, she shyly apologized for the mess. "You're fine," Marcus said, his voice warm. "Keep fighting." She blinked, surprised by his words. And in that moment, something shifted. Carla, too. shared quiet moments with Marcus during breaks. She told him about her daughter's dance recital, about the struggle to keep up with the erratic schedules Denise imposed on her. "I'm thinking of quitting," she admitted, voice barely above a whisper. "I can't keep doing this." Marcus nodded, cataloging the pain. The stories he collected weren't just conversations, they were evidence, each one a nail in the coffin of Orion's toxic leadership. 3 weeks in, Marcus had mapped the company's corruption with ruthless clarity. He had overheard Victor on a call late one night, plotting layoffs of anyone who dared complain. "We don't need whiners dragging us down," Victor had snorted, never noticing the janitor emptying the trash behind him. He'd found financial documents left carelessly in the copier, executive bonuses bloated beyond reason, entry-level raises slashed to the bone. One memo, marked confidential, outlined plans to outsource Carla's entire department. But Marcus didn't flinch. He sharpened his plan, each insult, each abuse another blade to cut them down. When the reckoning came, it was swift and devastating. The final blow landed on a Monday morning, the start of Orion's quarterly board meeting on the 25th floor, with glass walls framing the Chicago skyline. The room buzzed as Victor joked about his yacht. Denise scrolled through her phone, and Ethan leaned back, grinning like the game was already won. The board of directors sat waiting, still unaware that the man they hired was already among them. At precisely 9 a.m., the door slammed open. Marcus stepped inside, not in his janitor uniform, but in a razor-sharp black suit, crisp white shirt, and polished shoes that echoed across the marble floor. In his hand, a slim dossier. His presence was a thunderclap. The executives stared, confusion painted across their faces. Surely this man was there to fix a light, maybe deliver coffee. But then the chairwoman of the board, Evelyn Hart, stood and spoke clearly. "Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus Bell, our CEO." The silence was deafening. Victor's smirk evaporated. Denise's jaw dropped. Ethan nearly fell out of his chair. No one moved. No one breathed. Marcus didn't smile. He dropped the dossier onto the table with a slap that echoed through the room. "Good morning," he growled, voice low, commanding. "For the last month, I've scrubbed your floors, emptied your trash, and lived among the people you exploit. I've listened to your lies, watched your cruelty, and seen the rot that festers beneath your leadership." No one dared interrupt, not even Victor, whose face flushed red with rage and humiliation. Marcus's eyes cut across the room like blades. "You call yourselves leaders? You're nothing but parasites, feeding off the sweat of those you crush beneath your boots." He turned his gaze on Victor first. "You broke Jamie Brooks for being 5 minutes late with a report. Publicly humiliated her like it was sport. While you were off celebrating with your client over steaks and whiskey, she was working double shifts to meet your impossible demands." Victor opened his mouth to protest, but Marcus shut him down with a glare that could melt steel. "Save your breath." He shifted his focus to Denise. "You denied Carla Diaz her overtime, knowing full well she's a single mother struggling to keep her family afloat. You called her a leech, Denise. You spat on her dignity." Denise's hands trembled, eyes darting to the board, seeking support. None came. Finally, Marcus turned to Ethan. "And you, Mr. Lowe. You called your team garbage. Mocked a junior staffer in front of the entire office, laughed as you shredded his confidence. I heard you. I watched you. While I cleaned up your messes." Ethan shrank into his chair, clutching the arms like a drowning man grasping for a lifeboat. Marcus's voice dropped to a lethal whisper. "Your leadership is cancer. And today it ends." He looked to the board, his tone ironclad. "Effective immediately, Victor Crane, Denise Carlton, and Ethan Lowe are terminated. I've got more names on this list, but these 3 are where we start." Victor leapt from his seat, shouting, "This is outrageous. You can't." "I can. I have." "You're done," Marcus replied, his voice calm, absolute. Security waited outside the doors. Victor cursed as they entered. Denise burst into tears, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Ethan stumbled out of his chair, dropping his phone with a clatter. The room stayed silent as the 3 were escorted out. Marcus turned back to the board. "We're not finished. We will audit every paycheck, every bonus. We will rebuild from the ground up, starting with the people who keep this place alive." By lunchtime, word had spread through the entire building. Victor was out. Denise was gone. Ethan fired. The shock rippled through every department like an earthquake, but the aftershocks felt like hope. For the first time in months, Jamie smiled. Carla wept tears of relief as her overtime was approved. She grabbed Marcus's hand, her grip tight. I didn't think anyone was watching. Marcus met her gaze, steady and sure. I saw you. I always will. That afternoon, Marcus met with the staff not behind a podium, but in a circle of chairs face to face. He listened as they spoke their pain, their fears, and their dreams. This isn't about me, Marcus told them, his voice steady. This is about you. Your fight, your sweat, your voices. We build from that. The weeks that followed were transformation in motion. Bonuses were restructured. Pay scales balanced. Training programs built around dignity, not compliance. Former employees reached out, some in tears, asking to return. Marcus didn't seek applause. He saw change, and he planted its roots deep. In the evenings, he worked late in a modest office near the maintenance wing, not high above the city, but close to the people who made the company run. On the wall, a photo of his parents reminded him of where he came from. This wasn't the end. This was just the start of the fight. Because respect isn't given. It's taken. Earned. And Marcus Bell was just getting started.